And Edinburgh is kind of similar in that they have all the kind of tents around a kind of central area in a, kind of a square in Edinburgh. So at least as a kind of as a hub to the event. Um, but my sense of the UK is that they've gone increasingly celebrity, and increasingly less and less about novels, increasingly more factual and much more political and much more politicians. So I think, and
Yeah.
if you look at your average literary festival in the UK, it's probably TV celebrities, politicians, and there's very little you or me, people who actually write books and sell books. And actually, funnily enough, I another kind of thing I've been to is the Black Library for Games Workshop.
Yeah.
Used to have weekenders where they would rent out a hotel. People would buy tickets, and then kind of authors and the readers were all in the hotel for the weekend, and they would have sessions and things. And that
Mhm.
was great, but that was very book focused, which I think is really rare in the UK.
Yeah, it's really interesting. I mean, one of the things there's lots of differences between the different in I can only really talk about the difference between Spain, and the UK, and my very limited exposure to both. But I suppose in the UK, I've got more of a wider exposure in terms of seeing, what's on in other places, and I totally agree with you. Here, it seems to be it's celebrities, it's factual books and non-fiction and stuff, but the most important thing is the celebrity, isn't it? Because if suddenly a
Mm,
celebrity writes a novel that does fantastically well, Richard Osman, for example, I mean, he likes to talk on his podcast about him not being a celebrity, but he obviously is a celebrity. He was already on television before he wrote his
yeah,
books. His
yeah,
books do very well. Now he's a celebrity that's a bestseller. Well, of course, he gets invited to Hay and all these different places because he's a huge name now. But
yeah.
not only is his books well known, but he's well known as well. And but the other thing is that they charge people. So, you want to go to Hay on Wye to see Richard Osman speak, you're going to have to pay 10, 15 pounds, 20 pounds for a ticket. In Ubeda, this basically the whole town, it's a small town.
Mm.
The whole town seemed to have been taken over by this festival. There were reenactments in the streets, but like really amazing reenactments.